Hello. Greetings, people of today. I am skipping the intro to go straight into the mumbo jumbo as I am ready for thy drum and bass.
Are you
But
ready?
the question is, are you ready? I'm just kidding. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I must have gotten some good sleep because I feel pretty good today. Yeah, so I have an idea in mind, and we're gonna try to create something interesting and fun. I'm actually gonna start with bass before I do anything else, and yeah, have some fun. My name's Alchemy. If you've never been here before, we're gonna get some drum and bass stuff going, and I'm gonna try to be as entertaining as possible, and hope that you all learn something fun and have a good time. It's over here because I need to get out of the way of chat, but awesome. Multipass. Filter. Yoink. 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 Way too high. We're gonna double up on the LFO. Slow that down just a bit. Grab another notch. Probably go from here. Do the same thing, but maybe make this move slower. Yo, what's up, ISO? I'm gonna have this note retrigger always. Always. Dope. Ring mod. Yo! What's up, bro? And this will be synced to here. What's up, guys? How are you? How are you? Let's try a wavetable. And then we'll do another ring mod. Doing well. That's good. 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 Let's see. Let's do some of this. What's up, something burning? How are you? I don't know, my kind of DMB. I don't really know how else to describe that. The kind of D&B that makes the D and the B come together, and then you know, do the thing with the B and the, never mind. Whoa, pause. ever just like get your D and a B and then it comes together and makes the D and B? We need a mid-side EQ now. Not by much, just like, hey Oprah, what's up? You say hi to him, but you don't say hi to me? What is this shit? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to throw this into here. I think that had like +6. Sick. Sick nasty with it. I'm just kidding. All right, so now that we've got a fat sound, I'm going to start breaking. Oh, thank you, bro. I don't know what the fuck OBS is doing, but it just sounded like it broke in half. Thanks. You didn't have to do that. I was just giving you shit. I mean, I'll take $1, you know? That's like half of a candy bar, but shit, fam. Man's not hot. Skibidi with the bop. And a boom boom. Note trigger. Always re-trigger. What's going on with you all? Tell me something good. Tell me that you like me. Oh God, no. No, 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 no. Wait. Okay. About to do some yard work. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Oh, did you hear like how hard that went voo voo? It's the voo voo for me that does it. When the ting goes voo voo, I go woo woo. Wait, what? Yo, what the fuck? What are we talking about? Oh, I didn't even see that. I like that usually pops up in chat. Yeah, you could send it to me. Um, but you want me to look at it right now? Transient shaper on steroids? Can we look at it like Friday or something? Because today I'm actually trying to make music. I'm actually trying to look like I know what I'm doing on this channel for once. Which I don't, but I at least like to pretend. Today I swear I don't know anything. No. You will not. And it's not because I don't like you. It's because I have my own sound, you know? Like, this might sound pretentious or whatever, but I don't really care because, well, I don't care. But I have my own sound. And a lot of times back in the day when I was trying to learn how to do shit, I was taking a lot of inspiration and trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And also trying to put myself on the map, you know, with like being someone that actually knows a thing or two about sound design, you know. But now I don't have anything to prove. Like nobody makes basses like I do. You know what I mean? And nobody does it in Faceplant. And I don't mean that in a mean way or like in a look at me, but like it gets old. It gets old when people still ask me how to sound like other people when I've cultivated, you know, almost 15 years of my life trying to create my own sound. You know what I mean? Oh, how's my mic, by the way? Does it sound all right or does it sound muffy? Muffy? Does it sound muffled? Cool. Now if we just get some reverb over that, I think that's going to sound exactly in the way, almost exactly in the way that I want it to, but not, it's going to be close. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, whenever people ask me something and I say no, I usually try not to just be like, no, you know. I think that context helps. And so it's not coming from a place of being defensive, but rather a place of like, hey, here's why I'm not really interested in doing that anymore. And the other thing too is like, there's so many problems that come with that. So for one, I I don't really even know how to say this without sounding like a dick, to be honest, but I think that most people that do that shit don't sound anywhere close to what they make. You know what I mean? And that's one problem. The other problem is I get so much fucking bullshit comments whenever I do that. it's so annoying. Hey, what's up, Arl? All right, so for this, I want this to be a little bit faster. Maybe something like this. Now maybe slower. It's interesting because this is actually creating like a major problem. But I think we can fix it. Okay, so now we can introduce the OTT and hopefully fix those mids. Fix those mids. I don't really even think that this is going to need any high end. We just need to fix this. God, I freaking love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, now the other thing that I want to fix with this is I'm going to move this a little bit off, and I'm going to try to move. No, this seems fine, but maybe just a little bit less. So maybe like here. Damn. That's what I'm going to name this bass. I'm going to just call it Damn. Um, save. And that's so cool. So something I think would be fun is I'm going to do this. Yeah. Wait, no. I'm going to go into the filter here and go into the phase of all of these. No. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Because I want the phase of this to trigger only when I would like, yeah, I'll just do that. That's fine. So sometimes I might want some variation out of this, and it would be cool to be able to jump into this, kind of like so. And then I can just turn this on. There we go. That's the way to do it. Sometimes I love doing this shit, man. It's like puzzles to me. Um, okay. So now that we have that, we can turn this off, pretty much turn everything except for maybe the saturator off, and go into a sampler, hit F1, move this over here, grab this sound, crispy highs. Oh, fuck. Forgot to lock it. What do you think of noisier electronic music like Tear Out? It's not for me. The thing is like I like making sounds like this, but when they're expressed in music, it's a lot of times like a lot more subdued. Um, Yeah, I think that now that I have my base, we can get our sub or whatever. We can start working on the other stuff. So now I'm gonna get into the kick part. I actually really like this because it's got a really sharp transient, and then when we send this through the distortion, I think that it's gonna react well. Yeah, that sounds not too bad. What do you call soft drinks? Soda pop, soda pop? I say usually a soda. But yeah, I mean, I have an appreciation for. Yeah, I have an appreciation for that kind of stuff, but it's just not really my thing. It's a little too repetitive for me, for my tastes. It also gets like fatiguing to listen to. Wow, I can't believe that actually sounds decent. Oh, it's because I don't have any noise. That's why it doesn't sound so broken. I need a little bit of that. Man, everyone, I have been playing seamless co-op Elden Ring with my buddy Ritzy, who pops in here from time to time. It has been the shit. If you have fucking Elden Ring on PC, you have got to try it. It's been such a blast. Um, I cannot tell you how many hours him and I have just sunk into that fucking game so far. When I read Noisia, I assumed it was correct. I read it as Noisia as well. You do? Dude, the mod is free. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, instead of using a convolution layer, I think that I'm just going to do it like this, where I'm going to grab a sampler, Smappler. And part of the reason why I didn't do this before was because of where it sat in the chain, I think. But if I don't filter this, it should be fine. So pop is for the Midwest. Soda is I'm from the Midwest, but I don't, well, I was born in the Midwest, but I don't say that shit. I don't want to have anything to do with the Midwest. Colorado when we say soda. Woo! Man, that sounds nice. I just need it to be louder now. Colorado is progressive, like the coast, Cali here. So I grew up in California. I was born in the Midwest, but I grew up in California. Um, they pretty much said soda out there as well. So getting the pitch right with this is helping this phase align, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean it's crapping out at the end, but I don't mind that. Some people just say, "Give me a Coke," as in Xerox or Kleenex. What? Or chapstick? I don't think I've ever heard what you all are talking about before. Those are brand name companies, not the actual product. No, I was telling him about the mod that we installed. Oh, you're saying that you say Coke as a general term for soda in the same way that you would ask for a Kleenex instead of a tissue. Like, hey, you got any chapstick? Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying that you were using Coke as a universal term to ask for all of those things. So I was like, what? That's why I was tripping out. I was like, huh? I think everybody does that though. Yeah, I agree. Okay, sorry. I've been fucking off. What do I usually do to make this louder? That's what I usually do. Okay, now that my uh, air conditioning is off, I can actually hear this. There we go. That sounds good. All right, boys, we got a kick. Although I prefer to... Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Just leave it in. Just make the fucking... Can you just make the track? Can you just make the fucking track? I'm trying. Oh, laddie, make the fucking track. Polymer. Hey, Zing. What's up, bro? What's up, Zing? It's good to see you, man. Ow. Okay, this will be the transient. I just usually do this. I've actually been experimenting with a lot of other ways to make transients, which has been very interesting. But sorry to interject, do you ever do any melodic stuff? Not trying to make waves, just curious. I have like 400 plus tracks of all things electronic music. I have just not all of it's good, of course, but um, yeah, man. The short answer is yes. Oh no, 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 no. Oh yes, this is a... Let's go time shift. And then on this, we will make the... I think I just want this to be like white noise-ish. I'm doing good, man. I'm just starting the genesis of a new DMB track. Just getting ready to try to do some fun stuff. But life is good. My knee is still fucked. Okay, there's a little bit of a discrepancy here with... You've done some ambient and scoring stuff with no drums, right? Yeah. I mean, and like I've done stuff with drums that is heavily melodic as well. Um, like I don't know if you weren't you here last stream, Master J? Like I went on this like journey through the past of like all the shit that I used to make back then and like how hard I've had to work to get to like making anything remotely close to this. And it was because of people like Zane in the chat and because of Chi and because of Cage that have helped me get here. What do you mean don't lie? Bro, no. No, I refuse. Give credit where it's due, man. Okay, for some reason, the phase of this is just being asked. I think it's because this is just too loud. Yeah. There we go. Okay, that makes more sense now. The smallest changes make the biggest differences with this shit. You asked questions and we gave answers and the rest was you. But like, Do you ok alright, so now you're giving me something to work with because the thing is, man, is that I had to ask so many people, and a lot of them were not willing to give me the information. A lot of them were not willing to give me the time. I still have a recording from 2023 that was going into, you explaining chords and melodic stuff that was only coming out of one side of the speaker, but it was like 2 hours long. Do you remember that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So don't go over here telling me, "Oh, it was all you, man." Like, nah, dude. Like, I have that shit. It's so I have a library of helpful information that people have given me over time. Like, and part of the reason why I'm so big on giving people, like, on trying to credit people, is because I I would not have been able to figure it out without people like you. That's just it's a fact. And the reason why was because I came into yeah, I know, but like I came into this like I met you all with almost a decade of experience. And I still don't, but I didn't know shit. Do I want to do a tonal snare? I don't know. Yes, exactly. No, that yes, you should be booking lessons with Zane, 100%. He's approachable, he's really nice, he wants you to understand stuff. Yes, I agree. I need your money. I feel that. Everyone give him money. But the thing is he'll be able to teach you almost almost everything that I know. Um, Now it's kind of more of a means of like we've all found our own way of how we do stuff, and that's kind of where we're at on these things, you know. That's the only difference is Zane likes to do stuff one way, and I like to do stuff my way. Just want this to be a little bit brighter. Yeah, that's sounding nice. So now I'm gonna bring up the smack part of it to help try to blend this. And then this needs to actually be loud. Yeah, I delayed that on purpose. That's why. And then I'm just gonna shape this a little bit here and try to bring up some of those mid highs just a little bit more. Cool. The glue. Um, I'm still gonna finish processing it, and then I'll see. Like it's a little long, so I'm gonna shorten it up here in just a second. But now I'm gonna try to compress it together, and that should smear any like any offset transients. Yeah, that sounds really good. One of the problems with doing stuff in Polymer is that the noise oscillator doesn't have a consistent phase. And that drives me crazy. I actually like that. And so because of that, I have to hit the fucking button like 5 times to do the thing. Right, yeah. The tail comes from the vocoder for one, but I'll transient shape at the end, and then if it's still not doing what I want it to do, then I'll control it. But usually this transient shaper is so like sensitive. Yeah, yeah, dude. Like something I would recommend if you haven't is use the V0 hat. Wait, the V1 hat. Because don't worry about this. But this is essentially like a noise designer. But there's so much stuff in here that I was like, oh, dude, and this has been a lot of fun. Because it's like it's made for this. I mean, it's a hat maker, but yeah, this has been a really interesting thing that I've been fucking with lately. Yeah, right. Well, really for this, what I'm looking for is I want this to be brighter, but not sharp. And then I'll just cut the tail off of that whenever I sample it, but that sounds pretty good. And then I'm gonna back off of the layer just a bit because I don't need it to be that prominent. All right, I think it was fine the way that it was. Okay. Now, I think some of the air on this, I don't know why I always do this out of order, but the glue and then Pro R2, and give it just a little bit of overcook here. Just turn this way the fuck down. There we go. Now it's got the nice air. Has like 2-hour videos on noise generation. I need to watch that stuff. That's on his Patreon, right? I've gone through some of his stuff on Sample Genie. I'm gonna take that one. That one has the nicest like fundamental. And then we can just do this, and let's see how that sounds. I actually don't like that. So what I'm gonna do is back off of this and make all of this a little bit shorter. The skid is a little long. That. There we go. Let's try that. Take off the tail. Nice. I could try a frequency shifter on this. Do it again. Oops. Yeah, I think I like it without it, but I might pitch it around or something. And okay, we've got our kick, got our snare. Cool. All right, so now I'm gonna use life, and like one of the biggest things that I want to go for making stuff like this is just having really chunky shuffles. Wait, what? That's interesting. Cool. So we can take some of this stuff, although there's some interesting like Haas effect shit that's going on here. I need to send this to you, Zane. This is a hat maker that I made, and it just randomizes everything, and then it's run through like a crazy convolution list like this. But it's just a really good hi-hat maker. So kind of just take from this list and choose some stuff, which is convenient. One of the best inventions I've come up with, for sure. So really, when it comes into the percussion, I would like it to be chunky. Let's add some dynamics. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but see if we can find some other stuff that could be cool. That's kind of neat. Although, try to quantize the audio. There we go. Cancel. Let's see if we can just like cut this up. Okay, sure. Frequency shifter. If I can take the tone out of it, that would be nice. And then just make it a little bit more aggressive. Move this over here. I think that should be here. Okay, yeah, this isn't really holding up in the way that I wanted to, just because I think that one of the biggest issues is that this has a Haas on it, and so the problem is that because of that Haas, it doesn't, it's not really like hitting in the center of the speaker where I wanted to have a little bit more of the chunk. And I'm kind of curious, does all this shit have that? Yes. Ugh. Okay, that's a problem. So let's try this again, but with this, I'm gonna see where the delay is. That's the problem. Yo, Dennis, what's up? Actually, right, it feels out of place. So that's what I tried, but it ended up just sounding scuffed because the delay was there. So like the actual waveform of the left and right was offset. So even monoing it, it just created phase cancellation. But this sounds a little bit better. Yeah, that stuff sounds a little bit more interesting. So hopefully this will be more in tune with what I'm looking for. We'll see. Really? What does that sound like if we stretch that out? That's kinda cool. Yeah, I'm usually willing to spend a little bit more time on this just because I wanna get it right. That's kinda cool. Probably should. Don't forget me at the top. What are you talking about, man? I can't go a live stream without mentioning you all. What are you talking about? Okay. So I think this is going to be the majority of where we spend the most time just because I want this to uh oh, okay. Okay, okay, okay. The shuffle needs to be right because if it's not right, I'm not even gonna move forward. Okay. So let's pull out from some of the hats here. And I'm just gonna create a syncopated thing. Is there anything on here? Yeah, there's something on. Yeah, I still want it to be more like chunky. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, and so really what I'm going for here is to try to get something that feels a little bit more mechanical. So we need to have something fill in the other spaces here. So something like that could be kind of cool. Okay, we're on the right track. Worst case scenario, what I can also do is grab the vocoder like this. Dun, 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 dun. Let's try to maybe syncopate this. Yeah. Okay, that's a start. Bonk. Give me 1 second, guys. I have a reference track that I'm... Okay. So what I want to do here is we're going to make these hats really small. Sorry, what I mean is just really short. Almost there. Doom, dum, dum, dum. Wait. Doom, dum, dum, dum. Bum, bam, bam, bum, bum. Bam, bum, bam, bum, bum. You guys know what that's from? Wait. What if I did it like this? Somebody's got to know what this is from. Actually really like that sound. Anybody? Anybody? No? It's fucking Goron City from Ocarina of Time. You guys are killing me here. Killing me. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 bam, bam, bam. It's from The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Really? This shit sounds super bright. Oh, that's why it doesn't. Okay. I was like, the fuck? I think this is a good start, but I still want it to be like mechanical. Good afternoon, everyone. Sick. Okay. I actually think that this is too long though. So we're gonna make this tight as well. And then for this stuff, I'm also gonna make this tighter. Like we're gonna make it super techy. Just techie. And now we're just kind of replacing some of these sounds here with some other fun stuff to just... Just get it to come into play here. Nah. Sure, let's try that. Okay, now for the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Um, hmm. Let's put this into the pre-master here. Wait, it's already in the pre-master. think right there was what I wanted. So I'm gonna take this sound. And then we'll mix this in with somewhere like here. Yeah. Well, take out the sub. Uh, will you find yourself giving Ableton a try now that they've added the SDK extensions? Um, okay, wait. What's SDK for one? Two, I've had Ableton since 2014. I've been using Ableton longer than I have Bitwig. I just don't make music on it anymore. Ooh, that was sick. Custom scripts for Shelton? Okay, what, I'm sorry, but what is that? Oh, custom scripts for Ableton. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, huh? Yeah, probably not. I, I, I'm pretty comfortable with the way that I'm making music, and I, I don't really feel the need to do something different right now, to be honest. Let's try this instead. See what that sounds like. Yeah, I think I like this one better. Except I'm gonna drive a notch through that. Seemed like a cool update to experiment with. Already have a break, chopping extensions made, randomizers. Looks cool, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you could always like, I feel like Reaper existed for a long time with that, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, but I do think that's cool. I don't know. I feel like Ableton is kind of on this like too little, too late kind of deal with me. But it looks a lot more intricate. No, no, it's the same shit. Okay, I think like having like a crash will help build momentum on that. Okay, I'm gonna speed up the stuff from here and make this move a little faster. That was cool. I'll probably use that for something else, but just like toss that somewhere in here. Okay, so I'm going to turn this filter off. I'm going to try some of these. Okay. Or sorry, just like trying to fly through this shit. think having something right there would be really cool. I just don't know what yet. Like a boom. Let's set this to like -3. Just trying different shit. I think like some reverb throws and stuff would be super helpful. Shit's so fucked. It's pretty dope, but I really like the sound, but yeah, it's not really doing it for me. So what I'm gonna try to do here is I'm gonna come back to this, and I'm gonna try to create like a reverbed, reverberated like roar. It's already almost there, but we need to add this into the equation. And then we need to do another instance of Slice EQ to try to bring this out more. You think automating a phaser would help it fit in? No, because it's more of like, well, I think the best way I could describe it is it's not really what I'm looking for. It's more of like a texture thing as opposed to needing it to fit in. All right, where is this? This is going way too fast. There it is. Okay, so now that we got that figured out, we just need to add and wherever this is going to is also too fast. There we go. Just slow everything down a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is try to fit this in a little bit more, and this should create the texture I'm looking for, I think. Almost. It's almost there. So really what I'm trying to do is just provide the right interaction. I could just pull up the preset, but I wanted to try to make this fit in. Yeah, but when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, that's what you were going for. Okay, so this is part of the problem. This needs to come up later. There we go. Yeah, for some reason. All right, hold up. Hold on. Fuck. What is the name? Let's try this one. Possessed. Yeah, it's just convolution reverb. Really? 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 Big roar. That's the one I'm looking for. It's this little valve right here that's gonna do most of the work, which is crazy. Might help if I turn it on. Yeah. These are just sine waves. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so this just comes into, hold on, let me show you guys what I'm going for, but I'm trying to make it different because I've used this sound so much in a lot of my tracks already. This sound. So, I'm trying to make a different version of that. But part of that is through this stupid thing. And the other part of it is through, because like, Fat Shader, Ring Mod. Yeah, because this isn't really doing much. It's just this. So my guess is that it comes into this and trying to get this to interact in the right way. This is why I save my presets, because anytime I try to do something like it, I usually have to go back and refer to what it was that I was doing. But as you can see, it's still pretty similar. Still pretty similar, so. I think what I'm going to do instead of the shelf is I'm just going to do this and have something else control that, like this. And that should close the vowel a little more, but I can make it a little faster, kind of like this. And then that should have the wow sound. Did you hear that ChatGPT 5 has a goblin suppressing algorithm added? Because towards the end of GPT-4, totally became obsessed with goblins and nerd personality? What is, what? What are you talking about? What? What do you mean goblins? What? But what do you mean? Like, what do you mean goblins? I read mangas filled with goblins? Oh, there we go. Now we just need that to have a lot of reverb. There we go. Okay. It's not quite the same, but I'm glad that it's not the same because I want it to be a little bit different. It's true, GPT-4 lost its shit over goblins, so they had to get rid of the nerd personality. Man, what? Cool. So we've got some interesting texture over this now, and what we can do is that was cool. That's dope. Sick. Lots of stuff now that we can. Yeah, I do. I've got lots of stuff. I just wanted to use Beam. You could use. Do you have Snap Heap? I still think that Snap Heap is the best for this stuff. Hmm? was hoping that was gonna do something cool. Um, you just got abducted by an ad? That's weird. I don't really, I never play ads. Cool. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is, that is annoying. That was part of the reason why I don't stream on YouTube. Or sorry, don't stream on Twitch, my bad. Um, sure. Yeah, I don't blame you. I was saying 3 minutes is rough and pretty insane. Sick. It's from Face Plant, yeah. I usually just leave them live. I don't really care. But I mean, most of the stuff, it probably doesn't seem controlled, but it is. It's super consistent already, so I'm not too worried about it. Because like all of the glitch effects and whatever that I have, I turn them off. Um, that's not like in the the glitch effects and whatnot are not part of the composition. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, if you look at this, I'm not really. It's not really that. Like even with them on, it's not really that big of a deal. But like like I said, the other glitch stuff or whatever, I like deactivate it, and so that way it's not a super huge problem. Having fun with this. I don't know if I want to put this over here though. I think that I want to have some kind of like open hat over the snare as well, just to give it some texture. It's a little too loud though. Mm. Uh, yeah. Yeah, they are 7. There's these really cool like interactions that I'm trying to pull out. That sounds kind of sick right here. Okay, maybe this needs to be slower because I'm trying to get it to catch this, and it's not catching the and that's annoying the shit out of me. Okay, I'm gonna create a duplicate of this and turn it off, and then come back here. I guess it, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter because Okay, so here I would want the low end to be more. Why don't I just do... Fuck. Something like that. And then I'll just edit this and... Cool. Room. needs to be like a tearing sound through here. Something like that I think would be pretty fun. I actually really like this, but I want it somewhere else. And also, oh, I've already got something there. Okay, I'm not married to it, but like a yeah or something like that I think would be really nice right there. Oh, fuck. Did I forget to save the randomized? What have you done? It's alright, it still sounds cool. That sounds kind of cool. Let's try that. Where was it supposed to be? Yeah. I still want to see if maybe I can get away with adding like a cool shuffle. Um, almost. It's almost there. Yeah, I really like this. It sounds good. Okay, so on the shuffle, this needs to be moved forward by like 1, because I want it to be like tuk-tuk-tuk-tum. Nice. Uh, Man, I love this. This got really good energy. Really good energy. And maybe some of this stuff. Can be what I'm looking for. I'm gonna make this a little bit more consistent here. but when you start listening to it in the background and it starts going off, it's kind of like I don't know. Yeah, like it doesn't really have a direction. And that's kind of the thing is like whenever somebody listens to this and they start hearing it over and over again, uh, it kind of needs to hold itself together. Like right there, I can get away with it. Why isn't this showing up though? Huh? Oh, it didn't even pitch up? What? No. God damn it. Okay, it did, but yeah, the DMC soundtrack has some really cool stuff in there. Just this loop alone is like... Although, something that I would like is maybe a little bit more stereo, so maybe what I'll do is make this super wide. looking sick, man. That's pretty cool. But I think any louder and I'd want to jump out a window. No, no, I'm just saying it's just like just below the point of hella irritating. I know, right? I actually really like that. That could be really cool for um like intro. See, I hate that like when you open this back up, when it moves into a preset, it goes back to the factory content. Shit drives me crazy. That's really cool. Really cool atmosphere. Like this a lot. Maybe something like that could be nice. Turn this down a little bit now. Turn this off, because otherwise it's going to be super loud. And let's see if I can fit some other interesting stuff in here. I just love how chunky it sounds. Like that's really the kind of drum and bass that I've always wanted to make. There's some stereo imaging stuff that I'd still like to pull off with this, but it doesn't sound bad. Like, this would be super sick if we can get this to stick out in the mix a little bit more, because it just has like a weird fucking contrast. Maybe instead I can use just like a pitch shifter or something. It just sounds like wrong, but in the best way. This stuff is always really nice to add in because um so fucking sick, dude. I feel like it could use like some OTT, and I don't know. It sounds like it is almost like a horror brass. Yeah, and so maybe adding some noise on top of that.
Goes a little something.
Goody goody.
Yo, what was that? Does anybody remember what the name of that website was that you could get a bunch of like old school vocals and stuff that was royalty free? Or not royalty free, but that was copyright free. And it just had a bunch of like, you know, old sounding recordings that you could steal shit from. Return of the Mer.
In Paradise Lost, Milton wrote, "Solitude sometimes is best society, and short retirement urges sweet return." Is that why you came back, Snake? You got tired of... You came back, Snake? In Paradise Lost, return. 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 Return.
Evoke? Is that what I'm looking for?
Return. 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 Return.
It sounds like she's like getting kicked in the stomach at the end of her sentence. Like,
Return.
it's kind of cool though.
Return. 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 Return.
Sorry, just having fun, like doing some different shit for once.
Return.
Yeah, pitch track.
Return. 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 Return.
Let's just see what that sounds like. It's like super insignificant, but whatever. Can't even hear it, whatever. Really, really happy with how this is coming out, but some stuff with this is it feels like all of the percussion is hitting in the same frequency range, and I think that's a problem because um oh, that sounds 10 times better. Okay, where was the swell? All right, so I worked for 3.5 hours on this loop, but I'm into it. I'm pretty delighted with how this sounds. All right, does anybody have any questions about anything or anything else of the sort? Because I gotta go soon. But that shit was dope. That shit was dope as hell. Sorry, that was a personal thing that I needed to let out. Wait, I might need to do it one more time. Yeah, like I just want my shit to be like I want to make some tracks that are balls to the wall. And I think that this is another step in the right direction. It's not quite there, but drum and bass is a lot of fucking fun when stuff starts coming together. It's really not fun when you can't get like a convincing loop. You know what I mean? Um, but I mean, this is something that was very close to my reference, and then I like started veering off, so I don't have any complaints or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know. In any case, it's 5:40. I need to get ready to go. I need to brush my teeth, have lunch, do my thing. Man, it's taken me over 10 years. Like just this year, I'm starting to feel like I'm making loops that I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if I played this as a demo from somebody, like the initial first impression would be like, damn, okay, yeah, it's hitting. But there's still like more shit that I need to do. And I don't know. I kind of want to make everything a little bit more crunchy as well. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But all right, for sure. Thanks, guys. Check out alchemy.com if you like my sounds. Also, check out mesh.audio. There's a link in the description if you're interested in taking that. We'll probably be doing something like that on Friday. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to do. I don't think so. Can't think of anything else. But all right, guys. Have a great rest of your evening. Please like the video. Share my channel with somebody. That'd be cool. Bye, guys.